Hey, what's up everybody? So it is new gear day and I don't know why, but I am super excited about this piece of gear. You know, it's almost become as bad with me. Like, you know, here, like I've had a couple of girlfriends, so I collect shoes. I'm getting as bad with in-ears. I think this is my 4th or 5th pair of in-ears. But here's the deal. I'm a Westone guy. I have used Westone for years. They have been super awesome to me. In fact, they are sending me very soon a custom set that I've been working with them on, and I'm super stoked about those. But my buddy in LA, who is an awesome drummer, he plays in a couple of bands out there, he posted on Instagram that he got a set of in-ears, and thanks for the recommendation. And I knew he'd been thinking about getting a set, and because he hadn't made the switch yet. But I asked him about them. He's like, dude, these things are actually pretty good for the money. And so I looked them up on Amazon. They're dual driver for $18.99.
$18.99. $18.99.
I've never heard of a dual driver in-ear for that. I've not heard of it for under 200 bucks. So, unless you get a really good sale, and then it's kind of worth going for. But, so I picked these things up. Let's do a little unboxing. What I really hope is either these things astound me or they're a miserable flop. I don't want them to be in the middle and just okay. I want them to be good. So anyway, sorry, I'm holding it upside down here because it is all in Japanese. Oh, there they are. So there they are. These are the KZ ZST In-ears. So I know there's some shadows, but I want you guys to have an idea of what the unboxing experience is like. Small box. There's a little plastic over it. I just cut it quickly. So we'll rip that off. So you do have to put the cable in them, which is nice because you can always change out the cable if it dies without repurchasing the in-ears. They are they feel pretty decent. I mean, they feel a lot like my other custom moldeds that I had purchased. Not bad. I thought they were gonna feel like a lot cheaper, thinner plastic, and it is thin plastic, but not for $18. I expected them to feel much cheaper. So let's check out what else comes in the bag. So this is going to be the cable. The cable is actually thicker than I expected. I expected it to be a lot more cheesy of a cable, in all honesty. So one of the things that I don't like about these, oh, it is. See, these are actually in the picture, I couldn't tell, but these do wrap around and stay. So it's kind of like a bag tie, you know, wherever you put that, it stays. So I didn't think that was gonna be like that. I am actually pretty impressed with that. Now, the one thing I saw one other guy talk about with the other model that they make, he said that these cables did not stay in the in-ears very well. So, we'll see that. I'm going to demo them tonight at practice, and it does come with some other tips. You really want to find the right size earbud for your ear canal, or else you will lose bass response, and it won't sound right. So, to tell you the truth, that looks a little small for me, and that looks too big for me. So, I think I'm just going to stick with what they have on there, which looks like they're middle size. The one thing I don't like is none of these are foam. All of these are the rubber, so they will not expand in your ear. I like the ones that expand in your ear so that you get a better seal, but that's not a big deal. You can buy those pretty cheap. I'm actually very surprisingly impressed with the unboxing so far and the seaming quality. I'm going to set these up, and regrettably with in-ears, really with reviews, you just kind of have to take our word on things like this. I've watched in-ear reviews myself, and it's hard because it is subjective, and there's really no way for you guys to hear it, but I'm going to give you guys my initial reaction. I'm going to listen to them real quick. So let me hook these things all up. Alright, so let's see how these things sound. It's got a slow start to this song. Listening to Every Piece Matters by Panini. I can tell I'm talking a little louder, I apologize. Surprisingly decent bass. relatively okay noise isolation. Not the best. I feel like the left ear is a lot louder. Alright, so I'm going to give you my initial reactions, which I am actually having band practice tonight, so I will use these tonight at practice, and after I come home from practice, I will give you guys an update. But my initial reaction is a little bit better build quality than I expected, surprisingly. The noise isolation is okay, not the best, but not bad for $18.99. The low end, surprisingly good. Surprisingly decent low end. It's not the best low end I've ever heard. And the high end is kind of sizzly. That upper, or like the mid-high highs, those little sizzly. Not quite clear, a little bit tinny. So a little disappointing there. Not bad. They're a little bulky. See, they're pretty thick there. I would like to have seen these be a little bit smaller, because I feel like it's sticking out of my ear, and the little rubber is just basically the only thing holding it in. I don't feel like it would take a lot to knock it out of my ear. Like that's not good, especially if you're on stage. You don't want them feeling they're gonna fall out easily, especially if you're moving around and getting into the groove. You don't want them falling out easy. So I feel like they could have been a little bit thinner profile. For $18, I was pretty surprised at the audio quality. So I'm going to use these at practice tonight. I will use them for the whole band practice unless they crap out, or if this right ear is really too bad to use. But I will let you know what I think and give you my final thoughts. My final thoughts with the KZ dual drive in-ears, I actually spent a lot more time with them than I expected to. I actually filmed that first part about 2 weeks ago. I haven't used these exclusively for the past 2 weeks, and I'll explain why. For the money, I think these things are amazing. I was very impressed with the sound quality. I will say the high end was a little bit sizzly, a little bit sharp, but it wasn't bad. I mean, for $17 or $18.99, I can't really complain about that. I was very impressed. One of the things that I would actually recommend, though, is replacing these rubber tips with the foam ones that expand in your ear. Now, one of the things that I was experiencing, which they call ear fatigue, because I was getting so much of the stage noise around me that you end up turning up your pack and you start overdriving your ears. My ears were just getting tired, especially where the high end was a little sizzly. I did try to put some of my Westone foam tips on here, but they are an odd size and they don't look to be the standard tips, so I don't actually know if they make foam for these. I haven't had a chance to check that out, but if you do know that, please post that in the comment section below, and maybe share a link to Amazon where if they sell the foam tips for this. I think that would help these greatly. I do not believe that they will replace something like a Westone because of the sound quality, where the high end is a little bit sharp, as well as kind of the fit, and I haven't obviously had them long enough to tell you about the durability. I think if you need a set really quick and you don't have the money, these are a great option, but I would definitely be saving up your money for something a little bit more reliable and well tested out. I would also recommend these as a backup set. Maybe you have been able to save up your money to buy a nice set of dual drive Westones or something like that, and you need a backup. I have backup for my Westones. In fact, I think this is my 4th or 5th set of in-ears, but I use them all the time. If you don't have the resources and the funding to have a really nice backup set, I would say these are a really viable option. Keep them in your gig bag, and if for some reason the cable breaks or driver goes bad, this would be great to have kicking around in your gig bag to save your gig. So those are my final thoughts on the KZ dual drive in-ears. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped with your decision. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll put a little link over here. I do a Music Minute on Thursday, so be sure to check that out. Give me a follow on Instagram, and if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And as always, you guys keep rocking. there is a fly in here and it's driving me nuts.